Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many new revelations as well as twists and turns in this story that'll make us look back at The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens in a completely different way. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is really going to be a revelation movie. It's going to have a lot of these different reveals and surprises that are really going to take the fans by surprise and make us view the past 8 Star Wars movies in a different light. Now, one great thing about this film is that we do know that George Lucas is heavily involved with this movie and exactly how the story was all set and ready to go during the rewrites of the film for the months of November and December. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and even George Lucas, this is where everything begins to get very exciting. Now, specifically, it's described that during the rewrites of the film, during the months of November and December, is that J.J. Abrams and George Lucas worked on the flash fights and how they should be used in the film. It's described that part of the plot of the movie will involve the build-up and foreshadowing of these new powers that will be combined between both Rey and Kylo Ren from start to finish of the film, that it will involve audio and visuals from deleted scenes of past episodes in the Skywalker saga for some of the shots, as well as the recreation of certain iconic moments in the film. Additionally, it's described that J.J. Abrams and George Lucas worked on a new Force power that would be applied to the character of Luke Skywalker in the movie that would be used in the third act that was a part of George's vision. This power that Luke uses is described to connect to one of the meanings of the official title of the movie. Also, it's said that Kylo and Rey's relationship is built off of and inspired by the relationship of two popular characters in Star Wars Legends material, where Disney cherry-picked stories that George personally approved to be used for in the third act of the movie, and how the relationship between Kylo and Rey would progress. So, let's go over a couple of parts about this, because we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a film that's going to have a lot of these moments in which it's going to be very emotional, action-packed, and, of course, a moment in which it's going to bring us back to the past. So, I want to go over how George was involved with the flash fights. Now, the flash fights that's going to be used as a big plot element in this movie, especially in the third act, they're using deleted scenes from past Star Wars episodes. We're talking about episodes like Revenge of the Sith, or Return of the Jedi, or Empire Strikes Back, because we're going to actually see these moments, these iconic moments in the Skywalker saga unfolding, as both Rey and Kylo Ren fight each other to the death in one of their lightsaber duels in the third act. So, the other piece that I do want to go over is this new power that's going to be applied to Luke Skywalker that was created by both, of course, George Lucas and J.J. Abrams. Now, this new power is said to be applied in the third act and is set to actually have a big connection to one of the meanings of the official title of Episode 9, of course, being The Rise of Skywalker. So, who knows what this new power really is going to be? It could very well be that Luke's Force Ghost is able to resurrect Kylo Ren, for all we know, to becoming Ben Solo once again as a good man. That's a very big possibility, and does line directly up with some of the leaks that we have been hearing. So, the whole entire use of a new power for Luke, either in the form of a Force Ghost or in the flashback, we're not quite sure exactly where it's going to be applied, but it is going to be applied within the third act of Episode 9, so it should be very interesting the fact that George Lucas was involved in the creation of this new power. Now, the other thing that really does get me is how the relationship between both Kylo and Rey, the inspiration of it all, and how it evolves in the story, is all built off of two popular Legends characters in, of course, the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Now, that to me shows us that JJ, Chris Terrio, George Lucas, they're all diving deep into Star Wars Legends and are applying all of that into Star Wars Episode 9 to make it feel like a very unique and original story and something true for the hardcore Star Wars fans. So, what I like about all of this is that it seems like George, JJ, and Chris, they really did work together very closely since the rewrites of this movie took place during those months of 2018. So with that being said, it seems like Episode 9 really is shaping up to be by far the biggest Star Wars film in the franchise's history. I mean, let's face it, you know, when we think about Episode 9, we do know that this movie is going to be a movie that's not only very important to the Star Wars community, but also to Disney and Lucasfilm as companies. After all, you know, it really is true that this movie does depend on the future of the Star Wars franchise and where it's really going to go. So you can only imagine how they're really trying to make this movie right for the fans, since they really don't want to do the same exact thing over again, where they have to really come up with an entire new plan of what the next 10 years of Star Wars is really going to be. So, hopefully, JJ's going to knock this one out of the park and is really going to deliver it to the fans in a very satisfying way. And I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.